This is The Beat, a conversation about the Charleston County Sheriff's Office and our community. I'm your host, Oshi Alford. Hello again and welcome to The Beat. I'm your host, Oshi, and with me today I have...
Chief Fletcher King.
Chief King. I've been receiving a lot of calls recently from people confirming whether or not we're calling them to jury duty or whether or not they have a loved one in jail, or like claiming somebody by the name of like Sergeant Thomas is called and said that my loved one is in jail and I need to PayPal them $2,000 to get them out. So have you heard about this recently?
Unfortunately, yes. They've been going on for quite a while. Mm-hmm. They just get repackaged and repackaged and repackaged. These scams and the scammers, they package these things in emotion and fear. The elderly or the older are usually the target of choice. So they get this call from somebody or someone or an entity that they believe to be legit, a family member or somebody calling on behalf of a family member, or from a government entity, the sheriff's office, the magistrate's office, whatever. And then they just start barraging them with, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need your information, this is who it is. And because of the availability of this information, which seems innocuous on its own, you can find out about where someone has been to vacation through social media, who they're related to, who they're friends with. So they take all these little tidbits and package it into something where they try to elicit that money from you. And then the unwitting person thinks it's real because it sounds real. They know about my family member. They know we went to Cancun or whatever. So now they're already into that emotional roller coaster of, I have to do something, which is get the money to them. So they take whatever the instructions are, go get a green dot card, or click on this link we're going to provide you, or I need to verify certain things about you, your date of birth, your social security number, to make sure, and then they'll use the family member's name or whatever to kind of set the hook. Mm-hmm. To safeguard against that, number one, everyone needs to remember the magistrates courts, the courts, law enforcement will not call you to get this money from you. Mm-hmm. We will never do this. Once you calm down and kind of take in what's being asked of you, you'll start seeing the flags. They're asking me about my birth date. They're asking me about my account numbers. They're verifying my social security number. All of these things, if it were true, mm-hmm. is already there. So why are they asking you again? The minute you get any call that you feel doesn't pass the sniff test, mm-hmm. hang up. After you hang up, call law enforcement. Call the law enforcement that handles your municipality. And if you're in an unincorporated area, the law enforcement agency that handles the unincorporated areas. And you can call, the state has Adult Protective Services that specifically handles vulnerable adults when it comes to being financially taken advantage of. They're a whole state entity that deals with that, and we have that number. You can call the state attorney general's office. They track this also, in addition to law enforcement. So there's multiple people you can call, or entities you can call, to report that this is going on. The more you report it, the more it gets out there, the more you can help one another. But the bottom line is, it's not true. No matter how it's packaged, how sweet the sugar coating is, once you recognize the emotional hook and the emotional roller coaster they're trying to put you on to throw you off balance, so you start spitting out these information, my account number, this number, where do I got to go? That's what you have to take that deep breath and kind of say, okay, it sounds scary, sounds shocking, but how real is this? Mm-hmm. And where exactly is my grandson, my granddaughter, my whatever? Are they where they say they are? If it's somebody that's always in a situation where they're always coming in contact with law enforcement, you can easily check to see if they are. And even if they are in jail at the time, that is not the way it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. They will call you. Mm-hmm. And then that'll start that process. It will never be a third party. It will never be us as far as law enforcement. It will never be somebody from the courts calling about a bond that needs to be posted.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it's really a good point that you brought up, that they're going to ask you for that information, because any entity that has any information that is going to request money from you, you're right, they are going to already know it. So a simple way to verify whether any scam over the phone is real or fake, why don't you tell me what my social security number is first? Why don't you tell me what my date of birth is first?
Exactly.
tell me that information and I can verify it for you. But if they can't do that, then odds are it's fake. And you're right. If you want to call and you want to confirm with us, most of us have access. We can look into things. We can check if we've got a sergeant so-and-so, and we can ask him, hey, did you call this person? Because they seem to be convinced that their grandson is in jail and you're the one who did it.
Exactly, because they will package it using current employees and generalized areas of where they work. So do we have an officer Snuffy that works here? Yes, we do. Are they in the area that they are? So just get the number, say, yes, I will call you back, and call and verify it. There's very simple things you can do to trip them up. The thing that they live and rely on is angst, fear, and ignorance as far as not knowing how something works. Not a derogatory term, it's just that you don't know how this works. Hopefully this helps you understand how this works. And the main thing is we will not call you for this type of information, and we will not call you about this.
And don't be afraid to ask. Because I feel like that's a lot of things is they're like, oh, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to make it worse. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to go ahead and pay the money.
Knowledge is half the battle.
So who do we have that's in charge of, you were saying that we have someone here that they could call or report it to. Who would we report
Well, you
that
report it to the non-emergency number for the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, which is 843-202-1700. Once you get that and get it reported, then it will go to the Criminal Investigations Division. They will read the report and determine what they can do about it. If it's something that's within their purview, we have a white-collar crime section. It will be handed to that detective or detectives, and they will look into it. If it's something outside of our capacity, then we will start reaching out to state level and possibly federal level. It all depends on what has happened. If it's already happened, the scam has occurred, you have provided that money. Now we can try to help you. The meat and potatoes of this whole thing is don't ever transfer the money. You stop it. Don't give them the money. And then you report what they attempted to do. That's the perfect world. That's the outcome we're all looking for. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, and then sometimes these scammers do get what they're after. Once that happens, it becomes exponentially much more difficult for us to figure out who did it and how they did it and where's the money right now, because usually it's gone in an instant, especially if you do P2P. You're using an app or something, you can't call that money back. It's gone. And because of the internet, where it works, they could be in another country, they could be in another state. We are the Charleston County Sheriff's Office. Our jurisdiction ends at the borders of Charleston County. We can reach out to our state and federal partners to help us with that, but it becomes much more difficult. So education and getting the public to understand, again, do not give them the money and question everything, verify everything. Take that deep breath to kind of let that emotion wash over you, so you can kind of say, all right, what is really going on here? Because it's like I said, it will not pass the sniff test. It won't.
Well, I think that covers pretty much everything as far as I'm concerned with scam calls. Do you have anything in addition that you wanted to cover?
No, I'd like to give them the numbers. So for South Carolina Adult Protective Services, which is on the DSS website, that number is going to be 1-888-227-3487, and that's 1-888-CARE for us. For the South Carolina State Attorney General's office, that number is 1-803-734-3970. Both of those entities are excellent choices when you want to report a scam has happened or someone has tried to scam you. And also, as always, as citizens of Charleston County Sheriff's Office, you can call us at our non-emergency number, which is 202-1700.
And that number will give you like this list of options. You're going to have to listen to the menu. It is an automated menu. Just listen carefully before you select which one you get, because I get a lot of calls in the traffic division about scam calls, which I'm happy to help as much as I can, but most often I have to just pass that along to the necessary people. So either way, it'll get to where it needs to go, but if you want it there faster, listen carefully. Thank you again, Chief King, for coming in.
Happy to do it. Hopefully we got to somebody, and that friend can tell another friend, can tell another person.
Question everything. Don't give them your money. Always a pleasure to share coffee. He actually drinks coffee. One of the very few people that I've had here that actually drinks coffee.
Yes, and enjoys.
Who doesn't love a good cup of joe? Thanks again. This has been The Beat, a conversation about the Charleston County Sheriff's Office and our community. I'm your host, Oshi Alford. Look for future episodes by following the Charleston County Sheriff's Office on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.